You hear that? That's my horn. My horn of great news. Ladies and gentlemen, it seems as if we have had the best news for ReZero we have had in extremely long time. And that is going to be that we seem to be getting future confirmation of future seasons of ReZero past Arc 6. So if you enjoy ReZero, if you enjoy this type of content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And I'm going to get right into the topic. You heard me right. Future seasons of ReZero. I know, right? Genuinely insane. No, okay, but for real though, I'll stop the act. Yeah, no, Ice on Twitter. I'm sure you guys know him. I've talked about him a bunch at this point. Best ReZero leaker, best ReZero guy in general. Make sure to go check him out. Go give him a follow. Awesome with all his info. He reported on an anime talking stage that recently happened regarding ReZero. And the thing that was special about this anime talking stage is that one of the producers for White Fox, regarding ReZero, was on this stage. He had a little bit of a comment, a little bit of a chirp about future arcs of ReZero. More specifically, Ice proclaimed that he was asked, what would go on with, future ReZero adaptations, Arc 7 and onward. Into which, even a question like that, when I first saw this question on Twitter, my heart sunk a little bit. I didn't want to read what the response was going to be, because for all we know, what if he goes, okay, yeah, not gonna lie, guys, Arc 7 kind of tumultuous, like kind of a hard thing to adapt, so on and so forth. But no, he did not say that. He actually said, beautiful blessings to my ear. I looked like this reading that. It felt like the Tung Tung God himself came to me and proclaimed his gospel. Yeah, he basically said that ReZero Arc 7, White Fox and the team are going to work extremely hard to try to deliver that. And he hopes that not only that, not even ReZero Arc 7, because that alone is super cool. Sure, whatever, like Arc 7 getting adapted, and it seems as if, they're dead set on that. But the way he phrased it and the way things were said, it seems as if more future projects of ReZero on top of this are also going to be adapted. So, like, not just that. And another thing I want to note is Ice left a tidbit of a comment, which it's safe to say, guys, Ice, he probably knows more than, your average Joe Schmo, like me, you probably watching this video, unless it's him. What's it called? He made a comment talking about how Kadokawa wants to adapt this to finish, which tells me maybe, just maybe, he may be hearing a little bit of a thing here and there too, that ReZero, is probably going to go all the way through with its adaptation, which is genuinely mind-blowing to even think about. Okay, so think about this for a second, all right? Arc 7 within itself, that getting adapted is super cool. Getting, like, the thought of anime only is getting to see, Valakia and all those sort of things, characters like Axe Guy, Lelouch Guy, so on and so forth, is super cool within itself. But then the thought comes to, something like Arc 9 being animated, actually seeing that, and even I guess trying to prosper how that would be done, how it would turn out, so on and so forth. It's honestly such a cool thought. But, when it comes to a topic like this, future anime adaptations, the real question comes about, the question we all want to know, okay? Yes, we know it's probably going to happen now without a shadow of a doubt based on what's said, but the bigger question is when. Yeah, that might be where we're facing some problems. By the time something like Arc 9 or Arc 10 gets animated, I'll have a beard and a couple of kids and some nonsense like that. So as a whole, between season 3 and season 4, if you didn't know, it was considered one production originally, which is around 38 episodes. So we could say it took probably about 5 years to animate 38 episodes. 38 episodes, okay? If we combine Arc 6 and Arc 5, that is probably going to get us around the estimate of somewhere in the middle of Arc 8, if I had to guess. Actually, in terms of adaptation, it would probably get us a little bit past the middle of Arc 8 if, they went and sped up the pacing a bit, which I kind of hope they do for certain parts within Arc 7. So, yeah, I mean, an almost complete Arc 7 and Arc 8 adaptation would probably take around 5 years, 2026, so like 2031, 2032. At that point, the actual ReZero web novel will probably be within its final arc or reaching its conclusion, to say the least. I've made predictions in the past on when I think ReZero is going to end. My personal bet is going to be 2032, somewhere around there, unless Tappei, of course, goes ahead and unfolds and adds more arcs or so on and so forth. But who knows if he'll actually do that. But that's just my personal guess. So if we're getting up to Arc 8 around 2031, go ahead and let's think. Arc 9, Arc 10, combine those. I'm going to go ahead and assume Arc 10 is going to be similar length of Arc 9. Probably could do that in a little bit less than 38, 39 episodes. It would probably be around 2035, though, for those to get adapted. That's just my general guesstimate. And then, of course, Arc 11 and Arc 12, which only God knows how long they're going to be. I actually, if I had to bet, Arc 11 is also going to be around the length of, Arc 9, Arc 10. He's going to keep up that pace. Say that's going to be adapted. That could be adapted in like 15 episodes, most likely. So you go ahead, you do that, 15 episodes, half of that. That's another 2 years on top of it. You probably go ahead to like 2037 for that to happen. And then, of course, you would have to wait for the tumultuous Arc 12, which God only knows how long that is going to be. Probably going to be twice the length of Arc 3 with a little bit more on top of that, which, I mean, if you take that into account, that's probably another like 30 to 40 episodes, which you can go ahead and add another 5 years to that. I would bet you money we probably wouldn't see a complete ReZero adaptation until probably around 2042, somewhere around there, which it's a little bit of a while from now, guys. I'm not going to lie. ReZero is just a series that is that long. I mean, Jesus Christ, people don't even realize this, but ReZero's web novel count, or honestly, its light novel count too, especially when you include the side stories, is one of the longest, I guess you could say, stories as a whole ever conceived. Like, unironically, like, you could look it up, ReZero database, light novel, whatever, that website. You could literally go ahead and check and compare it and contrast it to other, languages or whatever, or books in other languages. They have the English count, I'm pretty sure, there too. And it is quite literally one of the longest ever. And a lot of that is because Tappei rambles a bit, honestly, within his stuff, kind of like me within these videos. But another of that is just attributed to the sheer length of ReZero. I don't know. I'm hype. I'm excited. And just seeing how much Arc 6 has blown up in popularity and how well the anime is doing right now, I mean, I don't see Arc 7, taking a deep dive. And if anything, I think Arc 7 will be an arc that benefits greatly from an anime adaptation, especially given how, I guess you could say action-packed it is and, how it's going to look in that terms of things. I do wonder how long it is going to take White Fox to do this because, to say the least, there's probably more fighting and more chaotic stuff. Not even fighting, just chaotic stuff that is probably more difficult and tumultuous for them to animate than there is within Arc 6 and Arc 5. But given how well they did with Arc 5, I 100% trust them with an Arc 7 adaptation and an Arc 8 adaptation. The one I really get to thinking about is Arc 9 and like where the direction is going to go then and there. But who knows, maybe ReZero as a series by that time is not going to be profitable anymore. It's not going to be big anymore, which I doubt because, I mean, we've only seen this series grow, even though we're 10 years into, I guess, an adaptation in the anime terms of things. So yeah, I mean, I don't really know what we're going to expect. We have a long time left with ReZero. Hopefully I could talk about ReZero until I have kids. Maybe I'll drop out of college and this will become my career, guys. How about that? Is that a smart idea? No? Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, anyways though, guys, that'll probably do it for today's video. A little bit of a shorter one. Just wanted to deliver this news onto my YouTube channel. Tomorrow, 3 p.m. EST, I am going to be streaming the new episode of ReZero, aka the last episode of this core of ReZero. So you guys better be hype. You better show up again. Unfortunately, I will not be going on Omegle this time. I know. I'm sure some of you guys are just extremely disappointed to hear that. But last time, yeah, I mean, well, I'm not going to even go into detail. If you know, it's a, if you know type of thing. Like what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. What happens on Omegle Barney stream stays on Omegle Barney stream. So yeah, with that being said, I really hope you guys come and watch. As a whole though, this episode is going to be the best episode within all of ReZero up until this point. I'm confident in saying that, especially given the fact that it more or less seems like the original ending is going to play at the end of this episode. At least that's what I've pieced together. That's my prediction. That's my guess. Don't take that with a grain of salt. Obviously, Ice has said on Twitter there are multiple twists within this episode that we are not going to expect. And even within the PV, you can kind of tell this because they've hid every single little detail. Like they are not going into detail on literally anything within this PV. You straight up have like nada. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm hype. Not much more to say than that. Anyways, though, yeah, if you guys enjoy ReZero, all that sort of stuff, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And I'm out of here, 3 p.m. EST. I'll see y'all tomorrow.